Hey guys, this is Rich Stoffer, PSP fitness instructor from CFB Edmonton, and I'm here to talk to you about the SARTEC pre-selection program. I've been running this since 2012, and the program has been improved since then to the point where I've had very good success over the past few years. First thing we want to talk about is what is selection phase. It's generally comprised of two parts, the selection phase as well as a survival phase. Generally about 17 or 18 days long, though it does vary a little bit. I have been assisting with the Edmonton portion of the selection phase since 2012. There are very few knowns about selection, but listed here are a few of those and certainly what we prepare for. One of the knowns I like to focus up on is the old SAR PT test, which any applicant should know inside and out and be prepared for, and this is definitely something I drill extensively. Here we have a program overview. It can take you from a CAF member who is generally fit for his job to someone who physically has what it takes to complete selection. I will add the caveat that you're in charge of what goes on between your ears. Keep in mind that this program also assumes you aren't taking longer than 1 week breaks from the program in these 9 months or so. Obviously, there will be exercises such as Maple Resolve that we need to work around, which is why it can often be a good idea to start the program a bit earlier. This happens every year, and the program has been performed every year without following it 100%. Here we see minimum requirements before you consider coming to me for a specific preparation. If you're in a position where you're not ready, please come to PSP regardless. You don't need to come directly to me depending on what time of year it is. I may be busy with this year's SAR JTF2 applicants, so you can go to any PSP fitness instructor. After meeting with PSP, you'll receive a general strength and conditioning program. This program is designed to get you in shape for the actual training program. I give most people the same general strength and conditioning program. It is very basic for a lot of reasons, and it works roughly 90% of the time. Your mile-and-a-half time will improve, and you will get stronger and become more familiar with the basic lifts. The only time it hasn't improved one or both of these metrics is if someone is already very strong and has a sub 9-minute mile-and-a-half, or 2.4K time. Most people I encounter have certainly received benefits on one or the other, and usually both. The other thing we focus on in this phase is a volume program. It is more of an outline to prepare for selection than an actual specific program. What we do know is you're going to be required to put down a lot of volume on some bodyweight movements such as push-ups and sit-ups, and this program makes sure that you can do. Next, we do some prep for the fitness test. We want to maximize results for the fitness test, and working between 4 and 8 weeks on this can help ensure we do this. 8 weeks is best, but it's definitely something we can trim down to 4 weeks if you have an ex or summer leave, as long as you're not sitting on your ass for the entirety of either. Next up, we have the PT test. It is just 1 day in late September, early October. I've outlined some of the minimum standards and some gold standards here. The next thing for us to do is after the PT test is done and before we start the pre-selection training in person is a little bit of a lag time between to regain any general strength or conditioning that we may have lost out on. And it's also another really good chance to do the most effective injury prevention we're going to get done before we really get into the program. Next thing we're doing is the actual pre-selection training itself. This is the meat and potatoes of the program. It is a 5 days a week in-person program with PSP, usually around 2 hours a day. There are some 2-a-days and after-hour stuff you will be required to do on your own. Plenty of people have jumped in at this point and been successful, but the ones who get in earliest often do the best. We spend a lot of our time making sure the old PT test is well planned out. You should know what your 2.5K time is going to be, what your total time is going to be on that old PT test. Every year there are definitely applicants who exhaust themselves on the run and can't climb the rope tired or haven't even practiced on a rope. My applicants are not these people. You need to know you need to have a plan for any knowns given the number of unknowns on selection, and this is a very easy known. We're going to be working out 3 or 4 days a week. Is going to be 2-a-days, and Sunday is always going to be a rest day. Another known is the extremely heavy ruck you're going to be required to carry in kind of crappy conditions and deep snow. And if you follow the rucking program and the strength program we have here, you will certainly be ready for this. Finally, we're going to get back to where we started. We are actually at selection. This is what we've been working towards for anywhere from 6 to 12 months, maybe even longer. Maybe you join the military. with the goal of getting through SARTech selection and then becoming a search and rescue technician. Once again, just to review, it's been anywhere from 14 to 20 days in the past. Usually it's around 17 days. I'm pretty sure they have it dialed in exactly how long it is these days, but it has varied different years. Obviously, again, dealing with limited sleep. It's mentally and physically demanding, and specifically, we've got that heavy rucking requirement. If you follow the program exactly as it's laid out, or we modify things as per your strengths and weaknesses, I've had most people get through in the last few years as the program is fairly dialed in. But ultimately, it's up to you. Finally, we get the post-selection phase. This takes us February to June. It's a long kind of portion, kind of unofficial. We've already done the hard part, so to speak. You've gotten through selection, hopefully. So first thing we do is an evaluation of the program's effectiveness. Was it successful? Was fitness a strength or a weakness? Hopefully a strength. Our next step is to do some resetting of some technique degradation, just in case, on selection, you might not be paying absolute good attention to your technique on, push-ups, and obviously you're squatting, you're not squatting heavy weights or anything. It's kind of a regeneration period. We re-begin some general fitness preparation for basic SAR phase. Usually I encourage guys the first 2 to 4 weeks after selection is you don't do much for the first week and a bit. And then after that, you get back into the gym or get outside and do stuff that you used to do for fun before you started doing my program. After that, we can get you into a 1-a-day program that'll get you prepared for the basic SAR phases. No more 2-a-day workouts. We're not really doing that anymore. We're doing some more sustainable long-term programming, basically just trying to keep you injury-free. Hopefully, by the time we get this far and you're successful, you're working out an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe in a day, and the rest of your time you're able to spend studying for your anatomy and all that medical stuff you have to do. Well, that brings us to the end of this little video here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Once again, this is a review of the SARTech pre-selection program. The longer version of it, obviously, I encourage you guys to get in as early as possible. Even if you're not following my program, following a dedicated strength and conditioning program or flexibility program, anything to kind of shore up your weaknesses. So when you get to the time when you're ready to try out, you're 6, 8, 10 months away, whatever, you can come to me and we can get started. Thanks again for watching till the end of the video, and feel free to email me with any more questions.